Biggest tax cut in history. That's at least how it's being advertised. A tax plan outlined by the president's chief economic advisors yesterday specified relief they hope the plan will provide for small and medium-sized businesses in America. Listen.
As the president said during the campaign, we will lower the business rate to 15%. This is not just about large corporations. Small and medium-sized businesses will be eligible for the business rate as well.
Here now is Zane Tankel, Apple Metro CEO and chairman. And Zane, you've got a lot of these Apple stores. You've got about 40 of them. But the point is, a lot of small-time folks, a lot of people with not millions and millions of dollars buy into a franchise like that. So you're in touch with a small and medium-sized business. Does this plan look good to you?
David, it looks great. It looks
from
fantastic.
A small and medium-sized
Unbelievable.
business.
Over the top. Much more than anyone would have ever expected. But at the end of the day, as a thinker, someone who can just take my brains and throw them out the window, but as a thinker, there's a responsibility to manage expectations. So the first question, when it's like looking at a P&L and just looking at the income side and nothing on the expense side and keeping all the income. And, you know, what happened to infrastructure? Billions, trillions of dollars. What happened to national defense?
Well, Zane, you not only know small business, you also know Donald Trump. You live in New York. You've worked with Donald Trump before. I mean, he tries to come out with as much as he wants at first, and then he negotiates it down. I mean, this certainly what we saw yesterday obviously is not exactly what we're going to see in law, but if we get half as much as what he advertised, would that make you happy?
Of course. Any movement in that way, we would do all kinds of things with that money. Scholarship programs, I mean, would go right back into our employee population, into the economy. You know, you drive a car and there's time to trade in. We trade in kitchen equipment before it breaks down. We'd be spending money on all kinds of infrastructure for our restaurants, 40 different
But also the idea that the big corporations always get the tax cuts, the little deductions, because they've got a team of lobbyists and accountants that can work it out for them. The small guys don't have that. They have to pay at a much higher rate. The idea of this is to level the playing field, get rid of the deductions for the big guys, bring the rates down so it'll level the playing field between the small guys and the big guys. Do you think they're onto something with that?
Without a doubt. The concept's brilliant. The concept's brilliant. But again, the devil's in the details. So I'm trying to manage, my expectations, our people's expectations, and where my heart and desires go. So, yeah, it's a great start. And so you start on a negotiating level where he's at. If we got half of it, to your point, I'd be ecstatic.
Then there is the simplification aspect of it. We spend at least, they said 7 billion man-hours yesterday. We spend at least 6 billion man-hours dealing with taxes in the United States. That's everybody involved, whether it's individuals or accountants and everything. Just to put it in perspective, 6 billion man-hours for taxes. It took 22 million man-hours to build the tallest building in the world. So imagine what we could do if we simplified the procedure, and imagine how much money that would save you.
Huge. All of it is huge. But again, I'm trying to manage my expectations, because the reality is the devil's in the details. And yes, some of it will be recovered with repatriation. There's trillions of dollars out there. I think you said in your previous segment, Apple has, I don't know how many hundreds of...
Apple has about $250 million overseas, or billion dollars overseas.
Yes.
And Google has about 118.
Yeah, so there's trillions to come back, and it'll go back into our economy and churn and burn. But the hard decisions are yet to be made with regard to the safety nets, with regard to the social programs, because that's where the bulk of our money is going.
Well, if we only get half of what was mentioned yesterday, you do pretty well.
Oh, it would be great. It would be great.
Good to see you. Melissa.